Live on YouTube, live on the Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm A.O. Xander, you of course are you, and welcome to the show. Today is Sunday, aka Sunday, May 3rd, and I'm getting May confused with March. It's just these M months, I don't know, I'm having a problem with the man. 2026, this show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, and we have a lot of history for you today.
Oh,
hello,
yo,
welcome to the
how
show.
you doing?
Welcome to the show, Jay. How you doing?
Doing good.
Excellent. Yeah, we have a 37-page art document today, so we're going to start us off here. And, now wait a minute. Why is this, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's probably why. Because, well, I had BC after AD because I didn't realize it was BC. So we're going to fix that problem there. We're going to start us off here in 1374 BC. A solar eclipse lasting 2 minutes and 7 seconds was seen at Ugarit by Mesopotamian astronomers. Quote, on the day of the new moon in the month of Hayar, the sun was put to shame and went down in the daytime with Mars in attendance, end quote. Wow, that sounds like a spectacular, statement right there. 750, yep. 752, Mayan King Bird Jaguar IV of Yaxchilan in modern-day Chiapas, Mexico, assumed the throne. Okay. Like, I'm just a sucker for, like, Mesoamerican stuff, Mayan, Aztecs, Inca, that entire, like, history, all that culture fascinates the heck out of me, dude.
Of course it does. It fascinates me as well. It's a cool history.
Yeah. 1382, the Battle of Bever-Schottenveld near Bruges in modern-day Belgium. The army of Ghent defeated a drunken Bruges militia. Oh, what do you do with a drunken militia? You put it down. That's what you do.
Exactly.
1481, the largest of 3 earthquakes struck the island of Rhodes and caused an estimated 30,000 casualties. Yikes.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. 1537, strategic city of Santa Cruz de Mompox, founded on the Magdala River, now in modern Colombia, by Spanish conquistadors. Okay. 1568, angered by the brutal onslaught of Spanish troops at Fort Caroline, a French force burnt the San Mateo fort and massacred hundreds of Spaniards. Yeah, well, war is hell. Oh.
War is hell, indeed it is.
Would you like to read this one, actually?
After confessing to corruption and war, Chancellor of England Francis Bacon descends to imprison in the Tower of London, must pay a $4,000 fine, and is banished from court, parliament, and public office.
Yeah. What year was this in?
1621.
Yeah. And it was a £4,000 fine. Dollars hadn't been invented yet. This is British currency.
Okay.
Yeah. No worries. 1624, Spanish silver fleet sailed toward Panama to collect silver and gold. Okay. 1640, English upper house accepted the act of attainder to execute Thomas Wentworth. I wonder if he has any relation to J.G. Wentworth. He was the first Earl of Stratford and a leading advisor to Charles II. Although this says now Charles I, so it used to say the second. This guy, he was the guy who ended up getting executed. Yeah, decapitation. So.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, this guy dissolved Parliament like 3 times or something during his reign. Pretty interesting history, this guy here, King Charles. 1654, bridge at Rowley, Massachusetts began charging tolls for animals. That makes sense. Animals weigh stuff. They cause wear and tear. You need to repair it and everything. And, if you don't charge for animals, eventually you're going to not have a bridge anymore,
Yeah.
1660, Sweden, Poland, Brandenburg, and Austria signed the Treaty of Oliva, one of the peace treaties ending the Second Northern War. I think I just heard a car screech outside. 1 year after that, Johannes Heavenless observed third transit of Mercury ever to be seen. And the transit of Mercury is when, from Earth at least, is when we can actually see, like, the transit of Mercury or Venus or something between the sun and the Earth. Like, we see like a little dot, transiting across the sun. So that's what a transit is. 1662, a royal charter was granted to Connecticut. Cool. 1678, French conquering fleet at Curacao caused 1,200 people to die. I wonder what happened. Like, was that a battle or something? And it was removed from primary source. Yeah. What do we got here in 1715?
Edward Halley observes total eclipse phenomenon of Bailey's beads.
Yes. You know what Bailey's beads are?
Let me see.
Right there. That's Bailey's beads.
Oh, that's what
They
they
look
are.
like little
Right.
beads, you know, so they're Bailey's
Oh,
beads.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever you look at a solar eclipse or whatever, you see the little beading and everything. That's called Bailey's beads. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So other source said a total solar eclipse is visible across northern Europe and northern Asia, as predicted by Edmund Halley, to within 4 minutes accuracy. That's incredible. Like 1715, and they have within 4 minutes accuracy in astrology already. You know. What is this? Yeah. So, I'm going to read this. This looked interesting. For when the cusps of the sun were about 40 degrees asunder, a row of lucid points like a string of beads, irregular in size and distance from each other, suddenly formed around that part of the circumference of the moon that was about to enter on the sun's disk. This is intended to note as the correct time of the formation of the annals, expecting every moment to see the thread of light completed around the moon, and attributing this serrated appearance to the moon's limb, as others had done before him, to the lunar mountains, although the remaining portion of the moon's circumference was perfectly smooth and circular, as seen through his luminous points, or through these luminous points, as well as the dark intervening spaces increased in magnitude, some of the contiguous ones appearing to run into each other like drops of water. Finally, as the moon pursued her course, these dark intervening spaces were stretched out into long, black, thick, parallel lines, joining the limbs of the sun and the moon, when all at once they suddenly gave way, and left the circumferences of the sun and the moon in those points, as in all the rest, apparently smooth and circular, and the moon perceptibly advanced on the face of the sun. To basically say Bailey's beads.
Yes, correct.
1765, the first North American Medical College opened in Philadelphia. All right. 1791, Constitution of May 3rd was proclaimed by the Great Sejm, the Parliament of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, becoming the first modern constitution in Europe. That's incredible.
Very incredible indeed.
Yep. Do you want to read this one? Short and sweet.
Washington, D.C. is incorporated as a city.
Yep, and here's a map of it here. From another source, it was incorporated as a city after Congress abolished the Board of Commissioners, the district's founding government. The city of Washington was given a mayor-council form of government. So they have their own, laws and everything and whatnot, and the federal government is its own thing that rules over the entire country, and of course, municipal government, but they have their own municipal government. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got here? 1808, day depicted by Spanish painter Francisco Goya in his 3rd of May, painted in 1814. Oh, so he painted this day 6 years later. I think we spoke about this. Or no, this is something else. This looks like an execution here. So.
Oh, yikes.
Apparently something was going on. Yeah, the revolutionary Spain. Yeah, Spain was having another revolution or something. Although these guys with their hats, they look like Cossacks or something. I'm not sure.
I know.
Anyway, 1808 as well. Peninsular War. The Madrid rebels who rose up on May 2nd were fired upon near Principe Faux Hill. Yikes. 1810, English poet Lord Byron swam across the dangerous Hellespont Strait in Turkey, now the modern-day Dardanelles. So, even back then, people were doing some extreme sports. Like, how people, swim the English Channel and all that crap today?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, that's what this is, but in the 1800s. 1811, the Anglo-Portuguese army under Lord Wellington tried to halt a larger French army under Marshal Massena marching to relieve Almeida in the Battle of Fuentos de Honoro. After intense fighting, the French were repulsed. And I wonder, is this the same Lord Wellington that defeated Napoleon at Waterloo? Because I think it was Wellington who defeated him. 1815, what do we got here? Battle at Toledo, Austria defeated King Jacqueline of Naples. That doesn't sound, too interesting. From the other source, though, it said this was it was the decisive engagement of the war. So this made or broke the war. So,
yes.
1830, the first regular steam passenger train service, and the U.S. started in South Carolina with U.S.-built locomotive, the best friend of Charleston, and I think that is what it is right there. This is what trains look like way back in the day. So. Really cool. 1837, do you want to read another article?
Yep.
All right.
The University of Athens was co-founded by King Otto of Greece. It is the first modern university in Eastern Mediterranean. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. And of course, Athens is in Greece. So,
Yep.
how about I give you another one just for hee-haws?
New Zealand is proclaimed a colony independent of New South Wales.
Mm-hmm. New South Wales, of course, being one of the like like freaking states or whatever of Australia. There's Queensland,
Yeah,
there's New
states
South
overall.
Wales, there's like I don't remember. There's like 5 of them, I think. So
Okay.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna look this up. Now I want to know states
Uh,
of Australia. Yeah, here we go. So Western Australia, South Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and then Tasmania. And New Zealand is its own country now. So,
okay.
but dude, look how unoriginal these names are. It's west, north, east, south. Dude, freaking
I know.
develop better names, Australia. Come on.
Come on, Australia.
In 1845, the first black stadium lawyer, Mackin B. Allen, was admitted to the bar in Massachusetts. The bar, of course, being law, like the legal, like the bar test or whatever. So,
Yep.
1845 as well. A fire killed 1,600 people in a popular theater in Canton, China. Yikes. 1848, the boar-crested Anglo-Saxon Benty Grange helmet. That's the University of in the Greece thing right there. So this is the helmet we're talking about, though. Was discovered in the barrow of the Benty Grange farm in Derbyshire. So that's cool.
Okay.
Like that's it's a boar. You see that there's a boar on the top of the helmet, with boar bristles for the fur and all that stuff. That's a cool battle helmet there. Yeah.
Looks very nice.
Yeah. 1849, the May Uprising in Dresden began, the last of the German revolutions that had lasted from 1848 through 1849. 1851, 6 major fire in San Francisco destroyed 1,500 to 2,000 buildings. Yeah. That was 1850. Yeah, here we go. So I'm scrolling up too far again. 1855, U.S. adventurer William Walker departed from San Francisco with about 60 men to conquer Nicaragua. I wonder if he was successful or not. General Winfield Scott in 1861 presented his Anaconda Plan for the North against the South in the American Civil War. So this was the, so-called Anaconda Plan, in which they basically entrap. Like you played Hearts of Iron, right? Hearts of Iron 4.
I think I've heard of that game before.
Well, basically, like it was that game. Like they love to encircle things. So like.
Okay.
So that's what this is. So the Anaconda Plan, they encircle all the stuff. They block trade. They make up a blockade. They can't get stuff in. They can't get stuff out.
Wow.
So it's a giant encirclement, and then Sherman's march to the sea essentially bisected the entirety of the South. Like let me bring up a map. Sherman's march to the sea. Image. Hold on a second. Map. This is not telling me a lot right there. Trying to find a good map that shows his march to the sea. But basically, like Chattanooga, there's Sherman. He was going this way. Oh, it looks like. Oh, he started with He started here and went all the way to Savannah, and then went all the way back up here to Relay. But basically, you can see here he's cutting. He's effectively cutting the Confederacy in half. Here's a good one here.
Okay.
You see his march to the sea right there. He's cutting it right in half. So not only are they strangled on the water, but then they're getting cut in half. So that's not good. 1861 as well. Lincoln asked for 42,000 Army volunteers and another 18,000 Navy people, seamen. So.
Seamen, yes.
Yes. So that's a lot of salty seamen to go fight the Confederates there. 1867, Hudson Bay Company gave up all claims to Vancouver Island. Cool. 1886, M.A. McLean was elected the first mayor of Vancouver, British Columbia. Of course, that is Canada.
Yeah, it's Canada, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this one's a little sad here, but if you want, you can read it.
Okay. How is that spelled?
Nanaimo, I guess.
Nanaimo mine disaster. Explosion in the mine kills 150 men. British Columbia's worst mine disaster.
Yikes. Oh.
Yikes, it's cool.
And what year was that?
1887.
Yeah, 100 years before I was born. Dang.
Cool.
1901, a fire destroyed 1,700 buildings in Jacksonville, Florida. 5 years later, British-controlled Egypt took Sinai Peninsula from Turkey. Now it's saying the Ottoman Empire, which is, accurate. Turkey was part of the Ottoman Empire at the time. Like, I think that was the capital state, Istanbul and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
1910, Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States was renamed the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NCAA. 1913, Raja Harishchandra, the first full-length Indian feature film, was released, marking the beginning of the Indian film industry. And this is an image of that movie, I believe. So this is the beginning of the Indian film industry. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Raja Harishchandra. Chandra, something, I don't know. I can't speak Indian. 1915, do you want to take this one? I'm going to throw you one every now and then if you want.
Okay, Canadian poet and physician John McCrae writes the poem of Flanders Field at your press on Western Front.
Yeah, so he must have been in the war, yeah. The Western Front. In Flanders Fields, it sounds familiar. Like, I've heard of that before.
I heard of that too.
You have too? Okay, so it's a war poem in the form of a rondeau written during the First World War by Canadian physician Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. He was inspired to write it on May 3rd, 1915, after presiding over the funeral of a friend and fellow soldier, Lieutenant Alexis Elmer, who died in the Second Battle of Ypres. Yikes, so he was in Ypres? Well, yeah, it says there at Ypres,
yep.
So... Okay. Well, if anybody, I'm going to add this in the underbar. In Flanders Fields. I'm going to add this here to that. So that will be in the underbar, the description section below, after the live stream, of course. Moving on up, 1916, Irish nationalists Patrick Pearse, Thomas MacDonald, and Thomas Clark were executed by firing squad following their involvement in the Easter Rising. That happens. 1919, Afghanistan Emir Amanullah began a war against Great Britain. That's not an intelligent decision, Afghanistan. Maybe it was back then, I don't know. But 1920, a Bolshevik coup failed in the Democratic Republic of Georgia. Thank goodness. What do we got in 21 here?
Northern Ireland is created under UK Government of Ireland Act, partitioning off 6 northern eastern countries with a Western Protestant Majority, okay.
Yeah, and this is an image of it. So, like, Northern Ireland, that belongs to the British, and Irish Free State, everything in green is actual Ireland. But Britain still has, a little bit of their iron grip on, a nugget of their chicken here. So.
Okay.
Yeah. 21 as well, West Virginia imposed the first state sales tax. West Virginia, come on, I thought you guys were almost heaven. Well, I guess that's why you're almost heaven. You're still taxing people. So, yeah, West Virginia, from the other source, became the first state to legislate a broad sales tax, but did not implement until a number of years later due to enforcement issues. Okay, so, but they still had it, so that's not cool. 22, nope. Mayor Hyland closed 2 streets for the building of Yankee Stadium in the Bronx in New York City. 22 as well. A salt layer was found at Winterswijk, Netherlands. Like, what does that mean? Like, did they make a salt mine out of it? Like, this is not telling me anything. Geological data. Okay, so maybe it's something to do with geology. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it has to be.
Yeah. 23, the first non-stop North American transcontinental flight from New York to San Diego was completed. Excellent. 1 century ago. Why don't I give you the Oka today? Like, it only happens every now and then. So.
1926, Britain's Trade Union Congress calls for the country's first ever general strike begins at first minute to midnight in support of striking coal miners and lasts 9 days.
There's a lot of strikes in history, man. Like coal workers, steel workers, miners, textile mills, all sorts of things. Like we covered an article a while ago about like an entire ship going like the entire crew essentially going on strike while in port. It's like that's not good. And it was a military vessel too, like an entire destroyer's crew. They're like, nope, we're not going to do this.
No. Oh, my legs.
But if you want, you can take the other two century ago as well, if you like.
I'll take those two.
All right.
1926 Pulitzer Prize is awarded to St. Clair Louise for Aerosmith. However, Louise declines the award, only offer in history to turn down a Pulitzer Prize.
That's incredible. Like, and this is not the same Aerosmith that we know, the music group. It's a different Aerosmith.
Yes, we know.
Yeah.
That's all good. You want me to read the other one?
Yes,
this
please.
One here?
Yes, please.
1926 U.S. Marines. I think it's bigger. Okay. What's that word there?
Nicaragua.
Okay. Land in Nicaragua 9 months after.
Leaving.
See that one. This one here.
Leaving.
Staying until 1933.
Wow, so they were there for 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, no, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So they were 7 year. Yeah. And by the way, yeah, this is a country, Nick. So like like you're saying that TV show, or like Nicholas, Nicaragua.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 1928, Japanese atrocities in Jinan, China. Okay, that doesn't sound like, that sounds horrible, but it's just... The other source says the Jinan incident began with the deaths of 12 Japanese civilians by Chinese forces in Jinan, China, which led to the Japanese retaliations and the deaths of over 2,000 Chinese civilians in the following days. Holy crap. Like...
Oh, jeez.
So Chinese killed 12 Japanese, and in retaliation, the Japanese killed over 2,000. I mean...
Yeah.
It's that's the definition of things escalated quickly. Like let's see if I could find it. Brian Regan, one thing led to another. Like I love this analogy. One thing led to another.
But I hate when you're trying to read something and you come across the expression "one thing led to another." What in the hell kind of lazy writing is that? Isn't that your job as the writer to tell me how this led to that? You can just throw that in there? Adolf Hitler was rejected as a young man in his application to art school. One thing led to another.
Jeez.
And the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on the sovereign nation of Japan.
What happened? It's true. Anyway, 1929 here, Prussia banned anti-fascist, and that doesn't sound good, but anyone who's lived in modern times, they know about Antifa. They are not against fascism. In fact, they are all for fascism, and they use distracting things like labeling themselves exactly what they're not in order to get away with their horrendous atrocities. So.
Yeah, in today's youth.
Yep. 32, 24 tourists began the first air charter holiday from London, England to Basel, Switzerland. Cool. So now we're getting people on holidays. Like, a lot of people don't realize, like, they take things, for granted today and all that stuff, but the entire idea of, like, childhood, the idea of holidays, the idea of vacations, of fair labor, like, so much stuff. Yep. That is the fundamental foundation of modern day society just 100 years ago was fairly new, or hasn't been around for that long, or even wasn't even around yet. So,
nope.
33, Nellie T. Ross took office as the first female director of the U.S. Mint. All right. 36, New York Yankee Joe DiMaggio made his major league debut, getting 3 hits. 37, Margaret Mitchell won the Pulitzer Prize for a novel, Gone with the Wind. That turned out to be a really good movie as well. Have you seen that yet, Gone with the Wind?
I had to watch it.
Oh, man. Yeah, you do. It's really good.
Okay.
38, the Flossenburg concentration camp was officially established in Bavaria, Germany. Yeah. Lefty Grove in 38 as well defeated the Tigers 4-3 for the first record 20 consecutive wins in his home field at Fenway Park. He did not lose there until May 12 from 1941. So that's 3 years. He won every game there for 3 years that he played. That is phenomenal. What do we got here, good sir?
Let's see. 1949, the All India Ford bloc is formed in Sajbit Kamia Bos.
Yeah. Don't worry about having to pronounce things right. Like, I very rarely do. I just have fun with it. But I wonder, like, is this... Yeah. It's a left-wing nationalist political party. Yikes. So that's not good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not fun.
Yeah, I knew it had something to do with politics or something. Like, so it's a horrible political party. What else do we got here? 1939, we got that one. 1942, Japanese troops, or Japanese troop. 1942, where is it? Right here? No, somewhere here. There we go. So one troop again. Here we go with that one troop. It must be like a superhuman they have. Attacked Tolagi, Gavtulu, and Tanambogo in the Solomon Islands during World War II. So that one troop attacked 3 places at once in one day. That is phenomenal.
That's crazy.
What kind of like freaking like Sensei Tokyo bullshit Captain America do they have going on? Is like it says one troop, right?
Yeah, that's one guy.
Yeah. Other source though says during World War II, Japanese naval troops, plural, invaded Tulagi Island and the Solomon Islands during the first part of the Operation Mo that resulted in the Battle of the Coral Sea between Japanese forces and forces from the United States and Australia. 42, Nazis executed 71 Dutch resistance fighters in reprisal at Stanshausen concentration camp in Oranienburg, Germany. And if anybody out there thinks that they can read this word better than how I just did, you're all welcome to do so. do you want to try to read this word here?
Stasherhausen? Schönhausen?
That's better than I tried, so good job. 42, Nazis required Dutch Jews to wear a Jewish star. We've covered that over the past couple of days. 43, do you want to take this one?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Okay. 1943 Pulitzer Prize award to Upton St. Clair for his novel Dragon's Teeth about the Nazi rise to power.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, like, the past 10 some odd years that I've been watching history repeat itself and everything, and I've seen a lot of people do the same. It's like everybody in today's world, they look back at history, they look at the rise of the Nazis and everything, and like, how did that happen? How could people, just sit by and let all that happen? Well, look at the world around you, and then you'll realize how easy it is. 43, we have a strike against obligatory labor camp ended after 200 people were killed. So other source, primary source edited, nationwide strikes in German-occupied Netherlands against obligatory labor camps ended after 200 people were killed. 44, meat rationing ended in the U.S. All right, now we can eat meat again. 45, Allies arrested German physicist Werner Heisenberg. And this is the guy, I believe, that Walter White named his alter ego out of, Heisenberg, named it after Werner Heisenberg.
Yeah, from the Breaking Bad TV series on Netflix.
45 as well. Do you want to take this one?
I'll take this one, but after that, I gotta take my medication there.
Okay.
Okay. 1945 German ocean liner S-Cap Arizona, is that?
Arcona,
laden with prisoners sunken by the Royal Air Force, the Western Baltic Sea, killing 5,000 people in one of the largest maritime
losses of life.
Losses life in World War II.
Yeah, 5,800 people. That is wow, dude. Like,
that's a lot of people.
That's like 2.5 times the deaths of 9/11.
I know.
So, you said, like, you mentioned the Arizona. Like, the Arizona it got destroyed in Pearl Harbor 4 years prior to this. So,
oh, dang.
Yeah, remember the Arizona in Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
Yeah. 46, Loons time. International Military Tribunal for the Far East, the Tokyo War Crimes Trial, began proceedings in Tokyo, Japan. And we also have Japan's post-war constitution went into effect, granting universal suffrage, stripping Emperor Hirohito of all but symbolic power, and outlawing Japan's right to make war. Yeah, you gotta keep the psychopathic xenophobes, like, under the thumb. So, 48, first broadcast of CBS Evening News, the longest-running network news show in the U.S. And then we got a Pulitzer Prize again, awarded to James Micken. Yep. James Missioner for his novel Tales of the South Pacific, and Tennessee Williams for his play A Streetcar Named Desire. Or I prefer to say Desiree. Streetcar Named Desiree. I don't know. 48 as well, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in Shelley versus Kramer that covenants prohibiting the sale of real estate to blacks and other minorities are legally unenforceable. Good, I think. That covenants prohibiting the real estate. Okay, yeah, so you cannot enforce that legally, racism. So essentially, if I'm reading that right, I don't know. This lawyer jargon always throws me for a loop. 49, the first U.S. Viking rocket launched, reaching an apogee of 80 kilometers. What is an apogee? I've never heard that word before, but somehow I can pronounce it. Apogee? Apogee. Okay, I don't want apogee definition. Let's see. The highest point in the development of something, a climax or culmination. So, okay, so this was its highest point. So let's take a look at this rocket here. Okay, so that's the rocket. That's pretty cool. 51, Gil McDougald, where is this? Nope, we're not there. Tied Major League record with 6 RBIs running batting ins, I guess, in one inning. He used the 5th to get 6 RBIs in an inning, the 9th inning specifically. 51 as well, the United States Senate Committee on Armed Services and United States Senate Committee on Foreign Relations began their closed-door hearings into the relief of Douglas MacArthur by U.S. President Harry Truman. I don't like the term closed doors when it comes to politics and whatnot. 52, we have the first airplane landed at the geographic North Pole. Lieutenant Colonels Joseph O. Fletcher and William P. Benedict of the United States landed a plane at the North Pole, and here we go. So there's a difference between the geographic North Pole and the magnetic North Pole. The geographic North Pole is, you just take the Earth, okay, there's north, there's a south, but, everything's always moving. So the actual magnetic North Pole is always moving around, same with the south, because it's north and south, so, like they go, back and forth, stuff like that. And I think at one point, the magnetic North Pole was, south of Canada at one point for a little bit. Oh,
for sure.
Yeah. That's wild. 52, the Kentucky Derby was televised nationally for the first time, specifically on the CBS network. What do we got here in 53?
Westchester Conference of American Library Association proclaims freedom to road.
Read. We have the freedom to read.
Freedom to read, yeah.
Yep.
Freedom to road, freedom to read, yes.
53, off a main source, 2 men were rescued from a semi-trailer. I have a photo of it. Actually, we got it right there. That crashed over the side of the Pitt River Bridge before...
Final destination.
Yeah, I know, right, dude? 2 men were rescued from a semi-trailer that crashed over the side of the Pitt River Bridge before it fell into the Sacramento River. Amateur photographer Virginia Sasho photographed this picture here, the rescue of the Pitt River Bridge, the first and only winning submission for the Pulitzer Prize for photography to have been taken by a woman. So, to my knowledge, she's still the only one, the only woman to get a Pulitzer Prize for a photography. But look at that, dude. They're rescuing these guys. Could you imagine being in that cab, just dangling?
Ooh.
Ooh,
that's dangerous.
Wow. That's a scene out of a superhero movie, dude.
I know.
1956, a new range of mountains was discovered in Antarctica with 2 peaks over 13,000 feet. 57, Walter O'Malley, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, agreed to move the team from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. This is the start of it. My mom, was born and, raised in Brooklyn for a little bit. And then somewhere along the line was in Las Vegas, and then somehow found her way out here into California. But she was a Dodgers fan when they were in Brooklyn, and they followed her out here. This is when it started.
I'll probably log off.
All right.
I'll see you later, but good show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining, dude. You have a good one.
All right, I'll be on next time, hopefully, sooner or later. Bye.
Yep. 1958, WINS suspended disc jockey Alan Freed for being charged with inciting a riot at a Boston concert. He quit and charges are dropped. So that's kind of bullshit. I mean, if they were real charges, they wouldn't drop the charges after he quit. Or I don't know. That just seems like a move to get him out of there. 59, Tigers' Charlie Maxwell hit 4 consecutive home runs in a doubleheader. 1960, the musical Fantastics, by Harvey Schmidt and Tom Jones, opened in Greenwich Village, New York City, becoming the longest-running musical in the universe, quote-unquote. I don't know if that's fairly accurate. I mean, how do we know if there's not anything else? I mean, how many billions of planets out there, you know? Like, let me put something into perspective out there for you guys. Like, the Milky Way galaxy, not the universe, the Milky Way galaxy, our little one galaxy out of billions of galaxies that we found, has more stars than grains of sand on Earth in our one galaxy. You know, like, I can't imagine this being the longest running musical in the universe. 1960, the Anne Frank House opened in Amsterdam, Netherlands. 62, an express train crashed into the wreckage of a commuter train and a freight train, killing 163 people and injuring 400 in Tokyo, Japan. Yikes! Like there's already a crash and it just compounded. That's not good. And I want to go back here. I got to go visit that Anne Frank house. So, 1963, Birmingham officials turned high-pressure hoses and dogs on Children's Crusade protest against segregation, prompting widespread condemnation. Yes, the whole sicking the dogs, fire hose on black people thing and all that stuff. They did that to kids. Other source says, the police force in Birmingham, Alabama, switched tactics and responded with violent force to stop the Birmingham campaign protesters. Images of the violent suppression were transmitted worldwide, bringing newfound attention to the civil rights movement. Yeah, this was real shit. This stuff right here, they're spraying them with fire hoses and, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. What we did, sticking the dogs on them, disgusting. 65, Cambodia dropped diplomatic relations with the U.S. That's unusual. 65 as well, Don Steele began a 40-plus year radio career at KRTH, Los Angeles, California. I know about that radio station. 65, we have the first use of satellite TV. Today's show on Early Bird satellite. We spoke about the Early Bird, I think yesterday, or maybe I think it might have been earlier. I'm not sure. 65 as well, KTCI TV channel in 17 in St. Paul, Minnesota, or Minneapolis, Minnesota. PBS first brought. Why am I reading that? That's not even marked correctly. 67, Black Stadium students seized the finance building at Northwestern University. So right here. 1970, Trans-Arabian pipeline delivery from Saudi Arabia to the Mediterranean was interrupted in Syria, driving oil tanker rates to all-time highs. That's not good. 71, U.S. National Public Radio began programming with newscasts, all things considered, airing on 112 stations nationwide. That's impressive. That's a big opening right there. 71 as well, U.S. President Richard Tricky Dick Nixon administration authorized the arrest of 13,000 anti-war protesters in 3 days. That's oppression right there. Chicago Sears Tower in 1973 became the world's tallest building at 443 meters, or 1,451 feet. It topped out at 110 stories. It was the world's tallest building until 1998. 76, Panama 747 SP landed after record flight around the world at 46 minutes 26. That can't be right. 46 hours. That sounds about more right there. Yeah, there you go. Just 46 hours and 26 minutes. So, according to what the primary source used to say right here. So, 1978, Sunday, solar energy events were held in the U.S. Today we also have the first unsolicited bulk commercial email, also known as spam, was sent by a Digital Equipment Corporation marketing representative to every ARPANET address on the U.S. West Coast. Yikes. 1979, MLB Cleveland Indian Bobby Bonds hit his 300th home run, the second to have 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases. I wonder who the first one was. 79, Margaret Thatcher won the United Kingdom general election. The following day, she became the first female British Prime Minister. Excellent. And that's not even on the main source. That's a shame. 1980, Giants first baseman Willie McCovey hit his 521st and final home run. 82, ABC's... this one here. Texas Ranger Ferguson Jenkins became the fourth to win 100 games in AL and NL, American and National Leagues, respectively. I wonder who the first one is for that. 82, ABC's All Talk Network began on radio, 2 West Coast stations. Hello, Ghost. How you doing, man? Oh. But yeah, like an all-talk radio station. That doesn't sound too entertaining, I guess. 82, New York Times reported that military will get 25% of NASA's budget. I don't agree with that. Like, yeah, no, I 100% don't agree with that. The taxpayers should not be... How about we just give the money back to the people? How about that? You know, like, this is ridiculous. 1982, President Reagan began a 5-minute weekly radio broadcast. That sounds interesting there. 83 as well, Soviet leader Yuri Andropov decreased nuclear weapons in Europe. Excellent, excellent. Good job, Mr. Andropov. 83 as well, U.S. bishops condemned nuclear weapons. The U.S. National Conference of Catholic Bishops condemned nuclear weapons. You know, I condemn them too. We have the date of the $5 million check in A View to Kill in 1985. That sounds like a movie. Is that a James Bond movie or something? Let's see here really quick. A View to Kill movie. Yeah, the James Bond. So yeah, this is when that check in that movie happened. 1987, Ayo's time. Miami Herald reported a woman named Donna Rice spent Friday and Saturday with presidential candidate Gary Hart, creating a media frenzy that forced him to withdraw from the race. Huh. So, yeah, it's that easy to get people no longer to run. We also have a crash by Bobby Allison at the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. Fencing at the start-finish line would lead NASCAR to develop the restrictor plate for the following season, both at Daytona International Speedway and Talladega. What is the restrictor plate? Let's look this up here really quick. Some kind of plate of restrictedness. Restrictor plate. Okay. Where does it go? On the engine. Okay. Okay. I don't know what it does, but cool. 88, 4,200 kilograms of Colombian cocaine was seized at Tarpon Springs in Florida. Yeah, that's a lot of Colombian nose powder there. Jasper Johns painting Diver sold for $4,200,000. That's a lot of money right there for this painting. Let's see here, Diver. What is this painting? This sold for $4,200,000. Okay, whatever. 91, the 356th and final episode of CBS' second longest running series TV show Dallas. It's second only to Gunsmoke. And we also have future Hockey Hall of Fame right wing Cam Neely injured his knee on a cheap shot by Ulf Samuelsson in Wales Conference Finals. The injury limited him to only 162 games for the remainder of his NHL career, retiring at the age of 31. That is terrible. 91 as well, the Declaration of Windhoek on press freedom was signed by African journalists. I'm going to look that up here really quick. Maybe add this in the underbar section. It's Windhoek, the Windhoek Declaration. So let's see, Windhoek Declaration. I will read a little bit about it momentarily, just getting it into the underbar section. It is for short, is a statement of press freedom principles by African newspaper journalists in 1991. The declaration was produced, yada yada, prompting an independent and pluralistic African press held in Windhoek, the capital of Namibia, from April 29th to May 3rd. 1991, the declaration was inscribed in UNESCO's Memory of the World International Register in 2025. Epic. 92, Baltimore Orioles' Greg Olson at the age of 25 was the youngest to record 100 saves. Excellent. We also have Ohio Glory won the first WLAF game after 6 losses, defeating Frankfurt 20-17. 1997, Russian chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov began chess match with IBM supercomputer Deep Blue. Yep. 1999, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma was slammed by an F5 tornado, killing 42 people, injuring 665, and causing $1 billion, billion with a B, in damage. The tornado was one of 66 from the 99 Oklahoma outbreak. The other source says the southwestern portion of Oklahoma City was devastated by an F5 tornado, killing 45 people and injuring 665, causing $1 billion in damage. Tornadoes, yada yada yada. The tornado also produced the highest wind speed ever recorded, measuring at 301 plus or minus 20 miles an hour, or 484 plus or minus 32 kilometers an hour. In meteorology, the term May 3rd is synonymous with an F5 tornado. So if you are a tornado chaser or anything involving tornadoes and you hear May 3rd, it means F5. 99, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 11,000 for the first time in its history, specifically at 11,014.70. 1999 World Snooker Championship, Crucible Theatre, Sheffield. Stephen Hendry of Scotland defeated Welshman Mark Williams 18-11 for a record 7th World Crown. That is remarkable. We also have infiltration of Pakistani soldiers on the Indian side resulted in the Kargil War. That would do it. In the year 2000, the sport of geocaching began with the first cache placed and the GPS coordinates posted on Usenet. I always wanted to get into geocaching, but, you know, I don't have a car, I don't have money, you know, so I just never really got into it and all that stuff. 2001, the United States lost its seats on the United Nations Human Rights Commission for the first time since the commission was formed in 1947. Why, though? Like I remember reading up on this, like, an article a while ago. We spoke about it. The New York Times. Well, that's the New York Times, and that's CNN. So I don't know. If somebody wants to look that up and to let us know in the comment section, you know, that'd be great. You know, not just for your own information or for ours, but for anybody else who's reading it. You know, become part of the show, not just watch it. 2002, Spider-Man, starring Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker / Spider-Man and William Dafoe as Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin, premiered. My absolute favorite Spider-Man movie. You know, like the originals, the classics. All the other stuff with the other actors, it's all crap. So, 2003, New Hampshire's famous Old Man on the Mountain collapsed. I gotta look this up here. I remember when this happened. And like it was devastating. There's that rock face. It looks like an old man, you know, like there's the top of the head, the nose, you know, the upper lip, the mouth line, the chin, you know, lower lip, all that stuff. But now this is what it looks like on the right. It's gone. That's very unfortunate. What a unique rock outcropping, though. I mean, like what would have caused that? You know, yeah, that's what it looks like, you know, from afar. It looks like an old man, like, you know, with a little beard and everything. 2006, Al-Qaeda member Zacharias Massoudi was sentenced to life in prison for his part on the 9/11 attacks in Alexandria, Virginia. 2007, British girl Madeleine McCann disappeared from a bed in a holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal. She was 3 years old. Starting the most heavily reported missing person case in modern history. So, from the other source, it says that. 2013, Aranzohai, a theropod dinosaur dating from 161 million years ago, was discovered in China. Take a look at this ancient titan. Oh, okay, that creature. So these guys. Oh, that's a big guy. Oh. 2013, the Palmetto Playground in Brooklyn was renamed after Beastie Boys rapper Adam Yauch. Okay. 2015, 2 gunmen launched an attempted attack on an anti-Islam event in Garland, Texas, which was held in response to the Charlie Hebdo shooting. 2016 as well, 88,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada, as a wildfire ripped through the community, destroying approximately 2,400 homes and buildings. And I'm gonna, you know, a lot of people don't realize, Only the Brave scene. There's this movie, Only the Brave. It's really good. It's about the Granite Mountain Hotshots. It's historically, you know, it's based on it's based off of true story and everything. This actually happened, but you know, the actual events could have been Hollywood and everything. But I just wanted to show this one scene. People don't realize that a fire can cover a football field like that. You know. So I just
Hotshots, we are in front of the flaming front.
You know, look at how fast that is going. I've seen fire personally with these eyes. I've seen fire move that fast, and it is scary. So, 2018 Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences members voted to expel Bill Cosby and Roman Polanski. Never heard of this dude. So, I still think Bill Cosby is innocent. 2018, Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan became the NFL's first $30 million per season player after agreeing to a $150 million contract extension. We also have Bollywood actors, both posthumously recognized as India's National Film Awards. Sridevi Kapoor, Best Actress for Mum, and Vinod Khanna received Dad Sada Phakti Award. Excellent. We also have Indian government confirmed around 111 people have died in dust storms in Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh in the last 9 days. 2018 as well, the Kilauea volcano on Big Island, Hawaii, that's what it's called, Big Island, began erupting, forcing the evacuation of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park and residential areas. 2019, Cyclone Fani struck Odisha State, India, and Bangladesh, killing 33 people after one of the biggest human evacuations ever. 1.2 million in India in 24 hours. 1.2 million people evacuated in 24 hours. That is breathtaking. Ow. How do you do that? 2020, Brazilian confirmed Kung flu cases passed 100,000 with the death toll at 7,025 in the 9th country to do so. We also have investor Warren Buffett dumped his holdings in 4 major U.S. airlines, saying, quote, "The world has changed," end quote, for aviation, reflecting an increasingly bleak outlook for the industry. Yeah, it's not good out there. And my dad's coming back from Texas in a couple of days, and I pray with all my heart and my soul that he flies safe and lands well. 2020, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said China is responsible for the spread and severity of Kung flu and should be held accountable. I 100% agree. 2021, the Democratic Republic of the Congo announced the end of the last Ebola outbreak after 3 months with 6 deaths. We also have former U.S. Senator and astronaut Bill Nelson became administrator of NASA. That's one heck of a career right there. Where is it? Right here. That was 2021. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yep. We also have a subway overpass carrying a train collapsed in Mexico City, killing at least 24 people. Other source says 26 deaths, 98 injured, after an elevated section of the Mexico City metro collapsed. We also have U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, or EPA, as Abraham Simpson said in the Simpsons movie, Grandpa, took first significant step against climate change by announcing new limits on hydrofluorocarbons, negative 85% over 15 years. Okay, well, environmentalism bullshit. The World Snooker Championship, Crucible Theatre, Sheffield, Englishman Mark Shelby won his 4th title win and an 18-5 win over countryman Sean Murphy. We also have a heat wave in 2022 continued across north and central India, disproportionately affecting the poor and because they can't afford air conditioning and everything, with March and April temperatures the hottest ever recorded in 122 years. Yikes. U.S. government said the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association player Brittany Griner, who should still be in Russia in prison, by the way, has been wrongfully detained in Russia after being taken into custody when drugs were found in her luggage in February 2022. Fuck her, let her rot, We also have 13-year-old Serbian student shot and killed 9 people at his Belgrade school, 8 students and a security guard before handing himself in, so he didn't delete himself. That's unusual. AJ, I don't care about that guy. 2023, Manchester City's Norwegian striker Erling Haaland scored in a 3-0 win over West Ham to set a new record for most goals scored in a single Premier League season, 35. 2023 as well, MLB Los Angeles Angels pitcher Shohei Ohtani joined the New York Yankee legend Babe Ruth as the only pitcher to strike out 500 batters and hit over 100 career home runs in 6-4 over the Cardinals in St. Louis. We also have mysterious explosive drone attack on the Kremlin in Moscow had no clear motive or link to people behind it, despite Russian claim it was an attempt to assassinate Vladimir Putin amid Ukraine and U.S. denials. So, so it hasn't been proven, but I'm fairly certain that was a Ukraine strike. Lulu and I had a discussion the other day. I'm not sure if it was on or off camera, but he doesn't remember this incident. 2023, ethnic violence broke out between the Meitei and the Kuki-Zo people in the state of Manipur. 2025, just this time last year, U.S. swimmer Katie Ledecky broke her own world record. Isn't this the trans one? Or was she a real female? I'm not sure. Well, if she's a real female, then all power to you. But I don't know. But yeah, swimmer Katie Ledecky. You know what? I'm gonna look this up here. Katie Ledecky. Whatever. Broke her own world record for the 6th time in the 800-meter freestyle event at the TYR Pro Swim Series in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. No, if she's a real female, born at the beginning as a female, then yes, breaking records 6 times is remarkable. But if she's a trans, then she's just breaking records that were broken by actual women and everything. So that's a whole discussion. 2025, Labour government led by Anthony Albanese won re-election in the landslide victory in Australian federal election, and we'll circle back to that here in a minute. Lady Gaga's free concert at Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, drew a crowd estimated 2.5 million attendees, the largest concert in history for a female artist. Police later revealed they thwarted a bombing attempt. I don't know, man. That sounds like bullshit. Liberal leader Peter Dutton became the first leader of the opposition to lose his seat in Australian electoral history, following his loss to Anthony Albanese. We spoke about this guy just earlier ago. And then we have the People's Action Party, led by Lawrence Wong, won re-election in a landslide victory in Singapore's general election. So we have 2 landslide victories in the same year. I don't know, are these leftists? Are these liberal, political parties? Because very much like how they do in California and what they did in 2020, I have a feeling that there's some tampering and maybe they stole something. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all the of the Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We only brought you, I'd say about 60%, maybe 65%, between 2 sources. So over the past 56 minutes, we've gone over this entire document, believe it or not. Started from the top, now we're here. Started from the top, now we're back up in here. I don't know. Anyway, it is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of Passive Insanely, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am AO Xander. We did have Jay in the show for a little bit. Ghost, was here for a little bit as well. And you, viewer, of course, are you. If you've been here the entire time, kudos to you. And, for all of you and all of us, I am AO Xander. You're you. Thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.